What's going on? Legion Order here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Data Gaming XP Grind episode 151. So right now we're actually going to take a look at all the resources we've actually gathered behind the scenes. And that's not the only thing we've been working on behind the scenes. If you guys have missed our last episode, we actually have almost 600,000 cooking XP. And we've been going through all these chests. I know that one didn't look good, and neither did that one, and neither did that one. But basically all that's left in here are a couple different things and mostly clean water. But we put a lot of stuff inside of our storage warehouse, and we've took some chests from here and added quite a few. And these actually are all going to have our food, and they're organized to the best that we can right now, which is actually pretty amazing. So we had to go back to the Bloodblight Swamp and get a lot of logs so we could actually make that possible. We added a couple logs, we added a couple chests inside of our storage warehouse, as that would allow us to keep putting more ram horns and the material to make wool. So we've been doing quite a bit. We've been doing as much as we can, I guess, in some regard, because to be honest with you, if I was doing as much as I can, I would have already had 1,000,000 cooking XP, but I've still got to live my real life as well, so I can't invest every single second into RuneScape Dragonwilds. But once Valhalla comes to the game, life will look a lot different for quite an extended period of time, as I sort of check out all the new content and everything else amazing that's going to come with that update. If you guys haven't already checked out the video, it's actually quite amazing. They don't give away too many spoilers, basically just showing us some of the monsters that we're going to be able to fight at that time, and a little bit of the backstory of what it's all really about. And I think that's such a small teaser for it. In fact, I think it's going to be so much more complicated than that, and just really exciting overall with everything that's going to be potentially possible with Valhalla and all the different things that it's going to basically introduce into the game. So lots to be excited about, really, with Valhalla. So another text message. I hate it when that happens, but I suppose it's a good thing, right? People want to reach out. People want to connect. I think that's a really important thing, but they can wait. We're not going to check that right now. We're playing RuneScape, and that's what we're doing right now. So let's go ahead and keep collecting drawberries. And I forgot I moved that lodestone. So that's right there, a good example of why it's important to have extra lodestones in a game. But really what we had to do is not that big of a deal, moving around. So let's check a couple of our areas. I think we hit a bunch of these actually behind the scenes. So I don't know how many of them are actually going to be available to actually get resources from. But we'll go ahead and go to each one and sort of see. We killed 2 abyssal demons behind the scenes, which got us a little bit of XP as well. We've been focusing on range. What else is new, right? It seems to be our favorite thing to work on as far as a combat style. Melee can actually be quite fun, but it seems that a lot of the monsters are quite spaced out, so it can actually just be a little bit more you've got to put a lot more effort into basically tracking down these monsters versus just a long range approach. But let's go ahead and pull out our staff. We did repair this. Definitely need to spend more time working on magic, so that way we can get this to upwards of about 150,000 XP. It's one of the things that we really don't work on enough. Now, this whole area potentially could actually have good resources. I'm not sure how much I've actually explored in this area, but as of right now, it seems that more exploring could be done to basically utilize all these areas and maximize efficiency when it comes to looking for dwellberries and onions and things like that. But that's just, I'm not super concerned with it right now, but it's something to look at potentially in the future. But then again, in the future, we're going to be focusing on Valhalla, and I really don't think that we're going to be spending as much time collecting onions and dwellberries and things like that. We're actually going to be spending a ridiculous amount of time collecting all the new things that you can actually get. There's another abyssal demon. So it looks like there's actually 3 places where an abyssal demon spawns, which I think's actually 4, I think. So that's crazy, because ultimately with all of them combined, you're going to have such a different look at the whole thing. You're going to basically be it's just going to be crazy, because with 4 locations with an abyssal demon, it gives you plenty of opportunity to potentially get more resources to fix your abyssal whip, as well as other things, right? You're going to be getting other ingredients that you might actually need, like hard leather, And then also when you kill this guy, he actually gives you a little bit of Artisan XP, which I think's absolutely weird. I don't understand that, but at the same time, potentially they don't show you, but you're sort of harvesting the hard leather from the body, so it's giving you the XP for that happening, I guess. So I'm not quite sure, but let's go and collect the rest of these onions that we sort of see here. But we're actually getting quite a bit accomplished. We don't want to go over there. That's basically death screaming at us, saying, "Come this way if you want to potentially die." At some point, because obviously I've got to get a lot of attack XP, ranged XP, magic. I might want to start doing really risky things and sort of just going into a combat zone and trying to fight like a ridiculous amount of monsters. Obviously, I'm probably going to die, but I think it would actually be quite fun to sort of challenge myself, and it could potentially increase like the way that I play the game. It could make me more of an experienced player and potentially change the way that I sort of approach different situations. And with Valhalla coming to the game, I think that that's going to be an important part, is basically learning how to sort of navigate in really difficult situations, because I think that's what we're going to be headed towards. The new monsters, the undead, they look amazing. It sold me instantly once I saw them sort of come out of the ground and all that cool. I love zombies. They're so cool. So hopefully they've got some cool drops, and hopefully they play a very important part in the role of the game, so I can just endlessly kill them. I think it's going to provide me quite a bit of XP as well as items that they drop. I don't know what they're going to drop though, so that's obviously something we've got to wait and see what that's going to look like. And I don't even be meant to be working on melee right now. It just sort of makes sense, because what else am I going to do right now? These guys, you don't really want to mess around with magic, because you could, easily die. But as far as ranged, you could easily do that. But yeah. So we're just going to switch back to our staff, because we do need to focus on magic. And it's like, it's easy to talk about. It's just better to do it. It's just really going to hurt me in the long run if I get where I need to get, and then I've got like no magic and no ranged XP. I've got plenty of melee XP. I'm not really concerned with that. And then we don't know what the next 10 levels are going to require, right? So, do I have enough to take me to level 60 in magic? I'm not sure. I feel like I do. I feel like I should have enough to get to level 60, but there's really no way to know that, right? There's no way to know until it actually takes place. But obviously, there's going to be a jump in XP, I particularly believe. Even though it's a survival game, there should be some jumps in XP to take you to 99 throughout the game. And I think that each time there's an expansion in 2026, we are going to see the levels rise. But there's no guarantee on that. But I think that once you start introducing Mithril and you start introducing Adamant, you have to do that, because that's going to be forcing you to raise the skill, right? And the requirement. But I mean, that's what I think anyway. That makes the most sense. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. But I really do think that that's what's going to be happening. So obviously we do have to wait for a full confirmation on that, but that just makes at the most sense. Hopefully I was trying to get off that blast so I could knock them back, but just really excited about seeing everything level up as well, and I think that's going to be really cool, unlocking new abilities, unlocking new spells. I mean, how much time is it going to take to really sort of go over all the new things that you can do in a game? How long is it going to take to basically be like, okay, I checked out everything that came into Valhalla? And I think that's actually going to take a considerable amount of time. I don't think that's just something we're going to I'll be able to do so quickly, which is not a bad thing. Obviously, I want the game to be intertwined to the point where I have lots to do and I've got things to keep me busy and things to enjoy in the game. So I think we're going to have plenty of that. So it's actually quite exciting. It's like so many skills already in the game, and so being able to see what all those new things can do. The abyssal demon is I didn't think I killed the other. I did kill the other abyssal demon, so this one's already respawned, which is actually really fast. And it looks like a lot of the onions out here respawned as well. So maybe we could start this off with magic, but then I don't want to finish it with magic, because ultimately I don't think that's going to be a good idea, just because of the fact that basically this guy can hurt you really bad. And now we've got a ranger fighting us as well. So we're going to have to strategically try to block at the right time and try to get this abyssal demon down because he will finish us in one hit. I'm very certain. All right, so we've got him. Now we've got to try. I'm dead. I don't even know what killed me, really, to be quite honest. But we did get the abyssal demon, so I don't think there's really a lot to be upset about there. We are going to go back, get the abyssal demon drop, get all of our gear that we just lost, and then we are going to basically go over everything that we just gotten. And then I got to grab these really quick. They're going to bother me if I leave them. But yeah, so we're just going to sort of go over everything that we just got because we've been actually gathering resources for quite some time. We're going to pick up a body and then potentially get a little bit more as well. So that's not right. We don't want to accidentally put the wrong thing in the wrong area and then start using resources we don't actually want to use. That would be quite irritating. So there's quite a bit of stuff out here. I don't want to leave all of it. So let's go ahead and kill a couple of these wolves, maybe the sheep. That's going to give us a little bit of meat for cooking. And I know we were focusing on range again and we were just on magic. So it's unfortunate because what's happening is, I mean, a lot of these things are a lot harder to kill with magic. You don't really have the protection that you'd want to have while doing these things. And it just makes it so easy to go back to the thing inside your head, which is let's go to what's working and basically what's going to keep us safe. And then that's really hurting you in the long run. I imagine that magic will actually get a lot more powerful as, expansions come to the game. I don't think magic is useless. Obviously, it's a little bit, difficult to manage at the current state in the game, but I know that it's going to actually be a really big thing. So yes, it's like difficult at this current time, but don't give up on it. Ultimately, keep leveling up your magic. It's going to be very important, and potentially they may even intertwine different things with magic. I mean, you've got to imagine that lodestones really don't involve magic too much, which is quite interesting, really, actually, because I feel like those should have something to do with magic, and based on where you can teleport. Is that another abyssal demon? That's actually crazy. I don't understand why the abyssal demon is here again. So there's a very interesting spawn amount of these abyssal demons. Potentially it was one that spawned in and he sort of got lost or something. But like, why would there be so many abyssal demons? I'm not quite understanding this. But I've been actually sort of practicing killing the abyssal demon with range lately. And there was a time when I actually really struggled with this. But, and who's to say I could die again easily, right? But I've been doing a lot better, and that's good because obviously you're going to be getting a lot of range XP, and that's going to be really important. You want to make sure, because I think range is going to be a really effective method once Valhalla comes to the game. So you definitely want to spend some time making sure that basically your range is where you want it to be when Valhalla comes to the game, because that's going to be an efficient way to kill new creatures. I mean, it's so crazy because if you think about how many animals I've already killed in RuneScape Dragonwilds, I mean, you've all my armor over there. Basically, that's animals I've killed that I've turned into armor. So I've turned all their resources into armor. So basically, when you really look at it all, it's like I've killed a ridiculous amount of creatures in this game. So I'm really excited for Valhalla to come to the game, because I'm going to be spending a ridiculous amount of time killing all the new creatures that are in the game. I mean, who knows how many zombies I'm going to kill. One of my things I like to do is kill a certain amount, like an astronomical, just crazy amount of something in the game, right? And so it's a little bit tricky, though, because the only real way I have of counting, like, how much of something I've actually killed is basically like with this little counter I bought off Amazon. I bought it and basically I click the button and then it tells me sort of like, it's just a counter. So every time I finish a kill, I can click the button. I mean, is that something I might want to do? Probably not. Only because basically the game does not work the way an MMO would work. You're not going to get like random drops. So it doesn't really make sense to be like, I killed 5,000 of these and this is what I got. It doesn't work the same. It's not, because you can't be like, oh, and then this is what you could get. Because I feel like most of the time we're all going to be getting the same thing. You're going to get like 5,000 of blank and then, 5,000 of blank. Unless it's like the goblin packs where I opened 5,000 goblin packs and this is what I got. And I think that actually is a little bit random. I don't quite think that's guarantee, because you see that with the quorum. It's a very horrible drop chance inside of the goblin pack. But anyway, let's go back to our base. And then we're going to go over an XP update, sort of look at everything that we just got, because we spent quite a bit of time collecting. And then we're obviously not going to work on cooking in this episode. I'd like to build up everything a little bit, but I think that's pretty much all that stuff. Got quite a few Abyssal Demon kills in this episode, so that's exciting. Let's see. There we go. So we've got quite a bit. I mean, we really do. So we're just going to keep going at that. Let's see how much. Okay, here we go. So attack, 338,000 XP. Range, 77,995. Woodcutting, 1,004,000. Construction, 2,015,000. Rune crafting, 1,001,400. Magic, 131,000. Mining, 4,259,000. Artisan, 4,133,000. And cooking, 600,697 XP. So that's crazy. That's such a huge milestone. Anyway, guys, we really appreciate you watching our content. And as always, we'll be back tomorrow with another one. And hopefully you guys are enjoying your adventures in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And until next time, Legion Luda out.